I remember we have our special money moments on the show, and our special little money moment is
Get
to
ready.
just encourage you to be saving.
Yeah. Oh, did you put your money in the socks today?
Oh,
Okay, I
don't
can
put
see it. It's
money
not in your
socks.
socks.
Oh.
But you are looking for it in weird
yesterday.
places.
Listen, I was wondering why I put the money.
Yeah. Can I say good morning to Bambakia Samed?
From Bessie.
Yeah, and from Bessie, he's been watching us. Unfortunately, we don't have a WhatsApp tab. So, and Mr. Ajoma sent me a really cool message yesterday. I felt really encouraged. So, Mr. Ajoma, thank you so much for watching us every day. And to you, Bambakia Samed, you never forget about me nor Roland, and we really appreciate it. I think your last message, greetings to you and the entire staff of Joy News. I really miss you guys, Papa, and we miss you too. But you know, you can always interact with me, so that's a good thing. Bambakia Samet. Yeah.
Okay, let me pull her number out: 0244 324 324.
Oh, that's a lie.
I hope you didn't. Well, we have to do the daily graphic facts. That's the paper. Okay, let's pull this forward.
You want to start with the daily graphic, or you can start with a daily guide?
Yes, I'll start with the daily guide. The daily guide has on the front page, we are shocked over close to 40 million US dollar vice president's house. Is it made of gold? He asks. I don't know the cost of some of these buildings are what the Hollywood stars and the sports personalities they tend to buy.
Okay,
buy 7 million. This million.
This is 14 million. I think it was
dollars.
13.9, right?
Yeah, and that is 4 times Ghana City. So that's a lot of money.
14 million.
Yeah.
Child, we have to take shots of, open to page 2, 3. Maybe we can have a picture of the building.
No. It's all there.
So that we can appreciate. Is it there?
No.
2, 3. If I go and do that story right now, you say Divo.
I'm sure the media will be on it.
No, but listen, I guess we have to understand what's going into it.
Please.
We have to understand what's going into it.
Don't even go there.
I don't
please.
know. How about have a chat with the contractor to find out what's going into the building? Maybe they have like bulletproof doors and things like that.
Asamoah's building, we're told, according to what the media reported, 3-point-something million.
Yeah.
And it's a very big house.
Yeah, but
I'm sure it will be bigger than
Asamoah is not vice president.
Right. So we have other stories there. Ayariga is a liar, says Osewusu. 5 probe bribe. 6 kids perish in collapsed school.
Oh, that's the story, man. That's the sad story.
It's a very sad
story. It's a very, very sad story. Can you imagine that your kids are safely in school, only to hear the news later in the day that they are dead? And it's not like they fell into a pit or anything like that. A car didn't knock them down. It's the same structure, the school building, a place where they're going to get education. A place that's supposed to be a place of comforts, you know, a place almost like home, and then they die in the process. I can't believe it. Gee. But our colleague Richard Kojonyako made a trip there. He's had conversations with the parents, the people at the center of this very, very sad story. And we'll bring you a playback of that. We also have some interactions with Richard Kojonyako. We'll find out how we can all help, support, put up a proper structure, you know, for the school children, because apparently that's not the only building that's in the deplorable state. There are other buildings as well. But let's do the Finder newspaper next. The Finder newspaper from the Daily Guide. We do the Finder, front page of the Finder. Hidden 7 billion Ghana cedis exposed. Bawumia declares as he questions $13.9 million VIP house under construction. Roland, is dollars? I thought it was Ghana cedis.
Dollars, oh.
Wow.
I think Ghana cedis is a lot of money.
Acting IGP focuses on good record keeping. Committee given 30 days to unravel alleged bribery scandal. 6 KG pupils die in classroom collapse at Bremen Jamra. That same story we've been talking about on page 4. Hello, Kigali participant to trigger radical change in Ghana. And it's a trip to Rwanda by City FM. There's a story on that in the Find the newspaper. Roland, this story about the acting IGP focusing on good record keeping. You know, like when a new administration comes, I think one of the first things they say is good records, and then they leave, another one comes, and then they're still talking records because there's no data and things like that. It's getting really worrying.
Yes, as a country, and particularly you work in sectors in which you need data to help you do strategy or put together your budget and do some projections for perhaps a service you want to undertake or a venture you want to also go into, and you don't have the relevant data. You even need it. You even need those data for your international partners to do their estimations and projections, and you don't have. It's a pity. I don't know whether it's because if we independently or by through state parastatals we're able to collect data, we can't sell that data, which I think will be very much sad. And it's something as a country we need to take a look at. We need to take a look at.
It's also taken like a political, kind of twist.
Many of the times. Many of the times. Okay, so we have on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, expenditure from government coffers between 2014 to 2016, 7 billion Ghana cedi missing, Vice President Bawumia says. And the story is on, I believe, page 4 of the Ghanaian Times, and says that the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has accused the previous government of failing to disclose expenditures amounting to 7 billion Ghana cedis from state coffers between 2014 and 2016. According to the Vice President, the current administration discovered the hidden data while it was preparing the 2017 budget statement, which was expected to be presented to Parliament next month. Where have they been hiding this data all these years, and how are we supposed to manage the economy with faulty data? This can throw our entire budget into disarray, and this is the reality. Okay, so what I'm getting is okay, data not disclosed. That's why. All right, see how that goes. On the back page, we have Ghana will overcome Cameroon according to Jordan, and have his brother there. As I always keep saying, Abedi Pele thought about the Black Stars 20 years ago. So because he knows that I will give birth to 2 sons and they will contribute to 2 positions in the Black Stars. Others just didn't follow up. As it goes.
Let's do the Today. You're done? The Today newspaper. Yes, the Today is up next. Front page of the Today newspaper. KG pupils killed by collapsed building, and then you can see a bit of the collapsed structure on the front page of the paper. Also, be agents of change. That's what Tumfo said to the second saying there. And I miss my new baby. Guess who is saying this? That's J.B. Danko Edu, the late killer. The main suspect in the case.
He misses who?
His baby, because his girlfriend at the time was pregnant and then gave birth to a child.
Don't worry.
That
we'll give him visitation rights.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the person that he murdered also has 2 children and a wife? He is only in prison, right? So he can always sometime come out and see them, or they can even visit them. But they wouldn't see their husband and father for the rest of their lives. I don't know, we should stop writing stories about this guy. He gives me headaches. That's fine.
All right, so we have the Daily Dispatch. It has on the front page, as MPP Samewu backs Rawlings, which faction will control the NDC? Very interesting story. Joy support Otiko Jaba insulting John Mahama. And the story about the faction is on the back page. It's a battle for control of NDC. Jerry Rawlings is hot. Rawlings must accept blame for NDC's defeat. And then we have other stories as well. Just compiled stories over the period. I apologize to Rawlings for lying against him. And that's the John Peter move.
Let's do the Daily Statesman newspaper. The Daily Statesman is up next. Leave a better legacy. Akufo-Addo urges African leaders. Ofori-Atta poised to transform economy. That's the finance minister. On the bribery saga, Occupy Ghana calls for police probe. Ezankoma is featured on the front page of the paper with this headline, and I'll be speaking to him later this morning right here on the show. Asante Henit, regional minister, be an agent of change. Speaker okay's probe into bribery claims comes with a picture of Joe Sewusu, chairman of the appointments committee, Michael Quay, Speaker of Parliament, and Muhammad Ayarega Boko, Central Member of Parliament. That's it for the Daily Statesman.
So we have other stories there on the front page of the Business and Financial Times. It says the neglected $100 billion handicraft sector. See page 3 of the paper. Skills gap hinders insurance prospects. And export earnings for handicrafts were told could hit as high as $100 billion in Ghana. Economic. How are you?
So that's it for the Business and Financial Times newspaper. Indeed, that will be it for the papers in terms of hard copies. But let's get on to My Joy Online. First of all, let's find out what's making headlines on the page. You're watching the AM show. If you've just joined us, we're doing the paper review. In fact, we're just done with the paper review. What is left is for you to go to the newsstands and grab the papers, but we'll tell you what's making news online. Foremost, myjoyonline.com. Bawumia expresses shock at $13.9 million spent on VIP's accommodation. We've been talking about that story. You can read a lot more detail on the site. Let's move on. Ghana eyes 1.5 million jobs in farming, push for more food. Okay, so Ghana targets creating 1.5 million jobs in the next 2 years with plans to invest in agriculture as the West African nation seeks to produce more of its own. I don't know, when I see writings like that, it's like a foreigner writing about us. SEC suspends...
It was taken from a foreigner.
Somewhere, okay. SEC, and that's the Securities and Exchange Commission, suspends licenses of 2 investment companies, Met Capital Group Limited and MEC Ellis Investment Limited, for breaching some provisions of the Securities Industries Law. So you know what I would say, you can go back and see the people that you're investing with. If there's a name that's Met Capital Group or MEC Ellis Investment Limited, check with the Securities and Exchange Commission before you lose your money. GNPC hit $5 million project from transition team. So it's emerged that when managers of GNPC presented their handing over note to the NPP transition team last year, they failed to brief the incoming government about the existence of, I guess, a project that's costing $5 million. Read about it. We'll talk about it in AM Talk. Wow. So what? Who was going to take it? If it's for the country, if it's for Ghana.
Sajwa.
Minister designate promises collaboration with Volta region chiefs for developments, and that's the Volta regional minister designate there. Rain disrupts parliamentary sitting, resulting in adjournments. Charlie, when they got the China rehabilitation, the roof, what, is it made in China or what? Or they didn't think about
but
that?
the roof is not part of the Chinese contract. just the inside.
So what, the rehabilitation was there, and just the inside, but not the entire structure. Okay. We'll see if they go to China or they source local funding to fix it. Rain, okay, that's the story there. Labour Minister designate justifies dismissal of CEOs of state enterprises. And I heard him yesterday. He says that if you're a CEO and you do partisan politics, you know, you go on the campaign platform and things, what do you expect? Expect to be fired when the new administration comes in, right? But I like the fact that he didn't want to. I think, you know, Haruna Idrisu, who's also on that committee, was the minister. So he kind of had a lot of insight. And he wanted the incoming minister to say categorically that it was wrong for, like a new administration to just fire everybody like that. And the man didn't want to give like a blanket condemnation. He says, I guess we have to look at every situation and treat them accordingly. Yeah, he's a smart man, right? Okay.
It's about being circumspect. I think it was being circumspect.
I think the question that I thought I needed more, it was too simple an answer for me, was the labor unrests, how he was going to deal with it. He said he was going to treat them with respect. And it was more of respect and fairness. But Charlie, that place is not...
Don't worry, you'll go and feel the heat soon.
Okay, well, we wish him well, by the way. We're not hoping that people will agitate more now that there's a new minister.
But I think some agitations will happen. It usually happens
definitely.
2 years down the line.
Definitely.
Because then when they get into the next election, worker groups need to get their due.
That's true.
Of the national cake.
The national cake, it never gets finished.
No, it's a running country. The economy is worth billions of dollars. So.
He should expect the doctors to come. If the previous administration didn't entirely close things with them, the nurses will come. And the nurses, they are in different groups. We have those new ones that also want to be employed. Then the teachers, they have the consent teachers and the so and so and the so and so. Charlie, too many people, too many. We wish him well. 7 billion Ghana cedis expenditure not disclosed in government data. That's according to Dr. Baumia. We told you about that in our AM News. Really, that will be it for myjoyonline.com. Let's do City FM quickly.
So we'll do City FM online, Mama B.
I'll complete Mohammed's housing projects. That's attached. And I think he dazzled, maybe because he's very familiar with the committee that he was.
Going
it was,
with a lot.
Yeah, it was, but he spoke really well.
Yeah, he said,
they
asked him whether he had read the housing policy. He said, look, he has a lot of documents for you. It's here, he will take a look at it.
Yeah, he was really cool.
He's a brilliant man.
Yeah, he is. He's a smart man. Parliament leaks amidst rainstorm. Roof partly ripped off. Is it God answering, Charlie, we should have a prophet to interpret this for us, right?
Oh, please.
Is that mischief?
Coincidence. We had a windy rain.
No. What's the name of the famous prophets?
Which of them? There are many. Owusu Bempah.
Owusu Bempah. Oh, gosh, shouldn't we call him this morning? Let him tell us what it means.
Oh, you're being mischievous. I've never seen you like that. You are in your element today. You have something on Baumia again.
Yeah, the 7 billion story also here.
And then the $13.9 million story.
So the 13.9, you find in some instances they say 14 because it's almost close to 14. That's like a very famous story today in our news. Let's finish up with BBC quickly and make way for sports. Today we have business and then we have AM Talk. Africa highlights Zimbabwe mine seizure threats. AU leaders get Tang lashing. Okay, so these are highlights. Turkey ordered to free Rwanda genocide judge. What's next for Africa's last colony? Could Morocco's return to the African Union lead to an end to the 16-year Western Sahara impasse? Pistorius prosecutor to tackle corruption. South Africa's pit bull shocks many by quitting prosecutor's role to start private practice. Oh, and he will make a lot of money because he was very famous. That's the prosecutor at the center of the Pistorius.
You make hay while the sun shines.
It's true. He did an incredible job.
And then you strike when the iron is hot.
Adebayo signs for Turkish team for an undisclosed amount.
I read a tweet from Gary Al-Smith.
Yeah, on Adebayo.
So mischievous. It says, he's one hell of a lucky player. Always getting good deals.
Yeah.
He gave you fine football the first year and the rest of the contract period.
Well, he's growing old.
Yeah,
he's played some incredible football in the past.
Yeah, in the past.
So,
I think it's okay. He'll be retiring.
But he's not a Messi.
Yeah, but he's okay.
Yeah, it's not a Messi. Everybody has got their limits. What's up with Demba Ba, by the way?
He had this fractured leg. Yeah, it would take him. The estimate was around 2 years.
Ooh, is he still signed on with his club, or they let him go?
The Chinese club. I don't know. because you know the way he broke, you have to put some metals in there for it to heal. I don't know whether he can play football again, because that one, if you have another fracture or pump, so the bone has to heal. It will take approximately, even I'm talking about estimate around here, the period, around 1.5 years for that healing.
Hey.
And then leaving that one, you still have to leave the metal in it. And so when it's about about the 8th to 9th to 10th year, that's when you can decide to remove the metals if you want to, or otherwise he has to be in for
Was
life.
it good playing for a Chinese team?
It's not about the Chinese thing. It's he was playing football. It could have happened anywhere. I don't know whether the compensations will be right compared to the mainstream European leagues, where football is a mainstream sport, and so they kind of appreciate some of these inadequacies or perhaps tragic circumstances when they happen by duly paying you the right compensation.
Yeah.
But when you go to the Far East, it's I think they're a bit shrewd about the way they do business.
Yeah, because they pay you a lot of money.
They'll pay you.
A whole lot of money.
They'll pay you a lot of
when
money,
you're
and
active.
sometimes when you are not active, the compensation clauses don't get to be activated. And then when you go, you're almost like you're on your own. You know.
It's sad. Roland, I feel like if we have just a little time, we can go to the Patrick. Please take us to the main BBC page, like World. And as I was driving to work this morning, I was like, Roland, why can't we have like a Trump moment on our show? Like a Trump moment every day. Okay, let's do our little money moment, and this is where we make our 10 Ghana cedis contribution and put it in our box. So that's my 10 today.
Okay.
You're not
Again, this is just symbolic. It's just to show you that please, you need to put something on the side, but this shouldn't be your main source of investment.
Never
not at
ever.
all.
Never
this
ever.
is perhaps just saving towards something.
Roland is saving towards a holiday. I'm
Yeah,
still trying to figure out what I'm saving towards. By the way,
I'm saving towards a holiday in December.
Maybe I can pay like a semester fees or something.
Yeah, that'd be
You
great.
never know if I decide to go back to school. Yeah. Okay, so Trump picks conservative for top courts. Colorado judge Neil Gorsuch, whatever the name is expected to face stiff opposition from Democrats.
And we're told
in
he's
the
just
Senate.
in his 40s. And so
it's 49, I think.
Yeah, and you'll be there for life. So well into his 80s, I hear this.
And you know his cabinet is not quite complete because some of them have not been passed. Some of the
the Democrats want to give him a hard time at the Senate because they have the majority.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, so that's our Trump moment.
Yeah.
Our Trump moment.
I love his hair. What does he?
Huh?
Right.
You love this hair?
Yeah, it looks
like in a good way or in a terrible way.
In a sarcastic way, I believe.
Okay, that's it for us. We'll make way. Sorry, Bediako. We've got a game. Ghana has got a game tomorrow.
But today?
No, not today. It's tomorrow.
Today there's a
today
game.
Is wait, hang on. And Burkina Faso
and Egypt.
Yeah. Okay. Burkina Faso and Egypt. We met Egypt. They scored us 1-0, right? But we haven't. Did we meet Burkina Faso?
No, not in this tournament.
Okay. All right.
Who would you want to win?
Egypt, Burkina Faso. I would say Burkina Faso. Egypt is too far. Burkina is close.
So we can.
Yeah. Oh, as in Yebetimi, I'm not looking at it in that.
That is when we win our game.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it, and I'm looking at the closest to Ghana for me to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you.
But if we meet Egypt again, they'll score us 2-0. So.
I'm telling you.
Okay, enough. We'll make way for Sorry Bediako. Stay with us. You're watching the AM show.
I have supporters.
Still to come, we have a live conversation with Ace Ankoma. Occupy Ghana pushing, for some kind of investigation. Is this what they've been looking for in terms of the parliamentary bribery, scandal? Is it a 5-member committee made up of parliamentarians probing the case, or they were thinking about external investigators? All that and more here on our show.